Super Mario 64 is a game that needs no introduction. So, why bother? I mean, come on, it's the granddaddy of 3D platformers. A speedrunning fetish at this point. It can cure cancer. You get it. You've heard all this before. But no matter how much this game is talked about, there's always something that gets left out, pushed aside into the shadow realm. Something that no one ever talks about is Super Mario 64 DS. The, in my opinion, superior version. Oh yeah, you heard me right. Sharpen up those pitchforks, cause Super Mario 64 DS is better than the original. Now, I can already hear you typing away in the comment sections ready to roast the Gen Z out of me. But before you do, let me just say that I'm not in the mindset that just cause it's a remake, it's automatically better than the original. No. Very few times are they actually better. But this one is an exception. And at the end of the day, this is just my opinion. You're allowed to have your own opinion as long as you remember that you're wrong. So let me explain to you why mine is correct. So let's pop it into the DS. So let's pop it into the 3DS.
Me, Mario!
This game looks way better. Now I get it. These two games came out in different decades with different technology restrictions. And as dated as the graphics are, I understand why they're still loved and cherished to this day. But come on, the difference is night and day. Made in 2004 to show off the DS hardware, the graphics got a major overhaul. Everything is much more beautiful without the smudgy colors. The piles of polygons have been smoothed out, given more depth. It's a delightful fresh coat of paint with admittedly a bit of pixel crunching that reveals a few rough patches here and there. But can you really say this looks worse than this? Mario actually looks like Mario and not a stack of tortillas. The original game definitely needed a visual renovation, and it sure as hell got one. It complements this game in a way that the original could only dream of, with all the characters and enemies getting glow-ups and popping. Mario, Bowser, Goombas, Princess Peach, the Bomb-Ombs, Wiggler, Yoshi, Luigi? And Wario? Well, I guess Super Mario, Yoshi, Luigi, and Wario 64 DS would be a bit of a mouthful. Yep, your eyes don't deceive you. I'm playing as Luigi in Super Mario 64 DS. L is real and it has been since 2004. But how cool is this? You get to play as 4 separate characters this time around, each with their own unique little abilities and attributes. Mario is a well-rounded type of guy. Yoshi can flutter and turn enemies into eggs. Wario is the muscle of the group, and Luigi is literally a god. Though I will say that the way they added these characters is a mix of strange, but also smart. It all has to do with the story. It starts off pretty much beat to beat with the original, the same cutscene with the same letter from Peach asking you to come eat her cake. Oh, I'll eat her cake, alright. But then it abruptly shifts. The game does this clever little thing where it introduces Mario solo, then introduces Wario and Luigi, then it pans out to introduce Yoshi sleeping on the roof, which I believe is a callback to when he originally appeared there in the original. It's so cool and clever, I love these little details. Then this game takes another little twist, and instead of starting as Mario like you expected to, you play the majority of the beginning as Yoshi. You're informed that the boys were defeated and trapped by Bowser's goons, and it's up to Yoshi to save them. What happened, Mario? You defeated Bowser like 1 billion times before alone, and now you need help? What happened, you got cold feet or something? It's a bold move, shifting the story like this and giving the spotlight to Yoshi, but I'm all for it. It's fun to play as Yoshi, to see him interact with a familiar world. Plus, you get a new sense of urgency. You want to save your friends, you need to help them, but how? As you traverse through the castle, you start to find portraits of your lost friends. Entering them yields whole new levels, with bosses to defeat that are all unique to this game. You're rewarded for your efforts with a key to unlock a door that springs out a new character to play as. They found a great way to incorporate these new characters into the story that doesn't make it feel like it was just pasted on. The NPCs all react to these changes, their dialogue changes to whoever is currently in play. All the bosses and toads have something new to say to each character. This makes the changes more seamless, like it's a living and breathing world. Also, fuck these toads, man! They can all turn into bricks and die, Jesus. I briefly touched upon their abilities before, but to expand, Mario's the only one who can walk kick and has access to the wing cap in its stage. The power flower that comes out of these boxes sometimes turns him into a balloon Mario, and he can float around easier. Yoshi can eat enemies, turn them into eggs, and throw them at other enemies. He can also flutter, giving him a boost in jump. The flower lets him breathe fire. Must be one spicy flower, man. Wario hits like a truck and is the only one who can smash through these black bricks. He also turns into Metal Wario, as if he didn't already hit hard enough. He can also pick up signs, which, you know, isn't very useful, but it's fun to do. Now Luigi. Oh boy, Luigi. Like you expect him to be, he's super athletic. So athletic that he defies physics. Simply by asserting his dominance by T-posing, his backflip makes him reach past the heavens and descend back down with a floaty twirl. By using the flower, he turns translucent and intangible. You can walk through gates and you're ignored by your enemies. Is this a metaphor for Luigi himself? Ignored by everyone, practically invisible, empty inside, simply phase into objects, becoming part of the background? Like, you're not even there? Luigi's broken, guys. Inside and out. He can also walk on water, so if that's not proof he's God, then I don't know what it is. All of these versatile abilities gives you incentive to switch between characters. Find which playstyle is your favorite, or just have a nice romp around with your favorite character. Certain missions require certain characters to pass them, so everyone gets a chance to shine. This is a group project and everyone is pitching in, even some do more work than the other. But of course, not everything is sunshine and the rainbow isn't quite complete. I'm sure you've noticed by now, something is missing. Someone is missing. Kinda like the game itself, cast aside and forgotten, not quite making the cut. A tall, purple-cladded baddie, companion to Wario. Despite all the rumors and hoaxes, sadly, no. You cannot play as Captain Syrup. I know! I was heartbroken too! Look, they even made a door for her! Just rubbing the salt in the wound. One day, Captain Syrup. One day. I mentioned before, with the new characters, they also added new courses. About 4 to be exact. All being diverse and imaginative so they don't feel like more of the same already available courses. Though they're considered as secret stars as opposed to just regular courses. Which is fair since they're more bite-sized than most of the others, but still very fun to explore and complete. In total, this game adds 30 extra stars, a great amount for those who want to go the extra mile. And also, you know, unlock the secret cannon outside. Yeah, let's talk about that. I'll be the first one to admit that the award is kinda lame compared to the original. With Yoshi acting as a protagonist, he left his little comfort zone with no one else to greet you up there. Not even a little sign saying thanks or whatever. You have a question mark block, a rabbit for Luigi, and 3 1-ups as opposed to the 100 you got before. And no enhanced triple jump, but to be fair, we have Luigi for that. So overall, a pretty watered down reward. But to be fair, the only thing we're really missing is a message thanking us. Oh, and that rabbit I mentioned? Yeah, those guys are all around the castle as opposed to the 2 MIPs in the original. And catching these guys yield one of the best additions to this game by a long shot. Ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, I present to you the mini games. I cannot tell you the countless hours I spent as a kid playing these mini games. Whenever I heard the little jingle of unlocking a new one, I knew I was in for a good time. Nowadays, these minigames may not seem all that special, I get it. They were fun little bite-sized distractions that still look more appealing than most mobile games these days. I also blame them for my gambling addiction. And Nintendo really went and said, hey, let's just give Luigi all the best stuff. Best moveset and best minigames, screw it. You're the Luigi 10 years before. There's also this little drawing thing on the main menu that replaces the warping Mario face in the original. I'm sure someone wrote their college essay about that change. I mean, it makes sense. The original was to show off the 3D graphics while the new one shows off the touchscreen. Last but not least, there's also the multiplayer mode. You can't play the normal adventure mode with multiple people, unfortunately, but instead, you can play an entirely unique versus mode where you battle it out with different players to see who gets the most stars at the end. I personally didn't play this one all that much, mainly because I didn't really have anyone to play it with apart from my cousins. But whenever we got a lobby going, there were some intense cutthroat rounds. And honestly, any multiplayer is better than no multiplayer. Okay, so there's been a giant elephant in the room that I've been ignoring. Some of you probably already put it in the comments, so let me address it. The controls. Now, the controls are a bit, bad? They're awkward and a bit clunky at first. It's a little hard to describe without playing it, but I think I got it. When you're going forward and then press down on the D-pad to go back, your character has to walk a turn instead of just turning their entire body around. So if you just keep going back and forth, your character somehow goes in a loop. This is attributed to the fact that this is a 3-dimensional game with a D-pad. I get that these controls aren't perfect, but whiny little babies use this fact against the DS version all the time. The few people who acknowledge the existence of this game usually slam on the controls and immediately label this game as bad, just because they're not used to the weird controls at first. To those people, the only thing I can say to you is, have you played the original? Yes, of course you've had. The controls are clunky as hell in the original too. Now it may not be as bad as the DS version, but don't pretend for a second that they're perfect. You never complain about the controls there because you're used to them. You've been playing this game your whole life. You're used to the weird controls, just like I am to the DS's. It's a matter of experience. Give this game some time and love and you'll feel yourself forgiving the awkward access just like you forgive the original. And also Mario says bye when you close the DS, which automatically makes it better. Even so, in the end, you still get to enjoy some delicious cake after completing either game.
Sorry about yelling at you guys, I just really needed to get that off my chest. But anyway, there you have it! Why I think Super Mario 64 DS is better than the original. From the enhanced graphics, plot, characters, and levels, everything's just overall better in my opinion. And upon finishing this script, I just realized that I never introduced myself. So I'm gonna outroduce myself. Hi, hello again, my name is Seraph and I just talked about why the DS version is better. And I always find it weird that people never seem to acknowledge it all that much. Though, not as weird as the fact that I have 4 subscribers even though I've never uploaded a video before.
Who are you people?